I was told from a very young age that perfection is that place I should aim for with everything I strive to do. Now that I think about it though, it seems like a different place. A place where not everything is perfect. For those new in the channel, my name is Gorka and I am a photo video freelancer based in San Sebastian, Spain. And today I am talking about how perfectionism has harmed my creative process and my business, and what is it I do to prevent it. Now, that said, perfection has been a very present term during my whole life, and I can imagine it has been in yours too. In many aspects, I have perceived that perfect is what I should strive for. The higher the score in the exam, the better. The more people like what I do, the better. The nicer I am, the better. This positive reinforcement has always been a huge motivation to do things in my case. The desire to survive, to fit in, to avoid discomfort as much as possible is what has motivated me. This is something I see now though, after 32 years living in this planet, but I know, I look like 23, right? Just kidding. Anyway, the first negative effect of perfectionism in me is limiting beliefs. I feel like trying my best and not reaching the perceived best has been a very recurring theme in some aspects of my life. This frustration has always come out right at me though, blaming myself for not being good enough for perfection. And now that I see it, of course, it makes so much sense. But I didn't see it like that in those moments. It has always come back to me not being good enough. That has translated into me not believing that I can be a photographer, filmmaker in the beginning of my career, not believing in myself to work on big projects, let alone directing any. These limiting beliefs have been very harmful for my potential until now. For the last few years though, I have realized that perfection is an abstraction and I'm not. We don't belong in the same world. This was very relieving, to be honest. Being aware of my thoughts and where they usually lead me was an incredible tool for me to reassess lots of creative blocks and limiting beliefs. Probably the most effective tool for this reassessment was meditation. Being able to observe my brain going nuts, understand it, and empathize with myself was totally game-changing. I feel like it was easier to empathize with other people than with myself, and so, solution: see yourself from the outside. The second biggest waste of perfectionism has been time. Usually the difference in time consumption between something being 80-90% finalized and perfect, which is impossible, it's an infinite amount of time and energy. We are evolving non-stop and always shifting in so many levels, which means that what you see as perfection now is probably going to change in quite a short amount of time, especially these days. So, in the end, the creation process of that piece will never end. In this regard, working with clients and creating with specific goals in mind has been extremely helpful. Setting healthy and reasonable constraints and limits to whatever you create is what gives purpose to the creation itself. Let that sink. To my engineer mind though, this is like solving a puzzle. We are handed some pieces and what it should look like in the end. It is probably not the best metaphor, but I hope you can see what I mean. Otherwise, let me know in the comments. Also, might be a good time for you to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. The third negative aspect perfectionism has brought me is anxiety. To be honest though, this anxiety is the consequence of many different factors, including low self-esteem, lack of time, and too high of expectations sprinkled with some comparison and the desire to jump ahead in the process. I find that when I am anxious, it's either because I am comparing myself to someone that I think is in a better place. I don't think I can do whatever I'm set to do, but I mostly can. Or I have overextended on time in other projects and I feel like I am lacking time and I'm going to deliver late. My best tool against these situations is usually organization and meditation. This anxiety comes from an emotional standpoint and doesn't usually help me getting results. Thus, I acknowledge my anxiety, but I observe it from afar as much as I can, of course. Deep and slow breaths, focusing on my heartbeat, usually calms me down in most situations. I try the 4-7-8 method where I inhale for 4 counts, hold my breath for 7, and exhale for 8. A couple of minutes of these usually makes a huge difference. Another great resource is changing your physical posture and moving for a bit. Get out for a walk, hit the gym, get to nature. These two help me lower my anxiety and obsession level and focus on the solution, organization and execution. This is a whole topic in itself. So if you're interested in the organization and execution of a freelancing business, let me know in the comments below and we'll create a separate series on that. If I had to pinpoint one major learning on this though, I would say is experimenting with your productivity and getting to realistic expectations on what you can get done in a certain time frame. Let me explain. For example, I know I can create one of these videos, using this format of course, in around 8 hours. Some I will do in 6, some I will do in 10. So I try to adjust an estimate according to the complication level of the task in hand. To finish it up though, I'd like to quote Sheryl Sandberg and say, "Done is better than perfect." This quote very much describes how I feel about perfectionism these days. We are in constant change and evolution. That means your skills, your possibilities, and your opportunities are also changing. Do whatever you can, learn from it, and enjoy the process. I hope that this is helpful in any way. I would love to know if you are a perfectionist and how did this affect your creative endeavors or life in general. Also, check this video where I'm talking about how I try to keep a healthy lifestyle in this freelance world. For those who stuck until now, thank you so much for watching. It means a lot to me. Click on all the buttons down below if you like the video. It does make me very happy. And I will see you in the next one.